Let's go.
It was all nerves as Sunderland travelled to Turf Moor for a game neither side could realistically afford to lose. The players, though, looked ice cold and prepared. Burnley have the best defensive record in the league, and all of Europe in fact, but their home form is muddled. They've won only 6 and drawn just as many times. Burnley, though, are far from invincible. They may not concede, but they can't score either, notching just 22 goals in the last 24 games. That's less than 1 goal per game, and they're 21st in the division for shots on target, while Sunderland lie 4th. Burnley are even lower than that for creating big chances. So Sunderland arrived with some expectation of being able to claim their first league win at Turf Moor in 20 years. Chris Rigg returned from injury to make the starting lineup instead of Eliza Mayanda, as Sunderland reverted to their usual 4-1-4-1, with Wilson Isidore selected as the lone striker. But the big news before kickoff was that new signing Enzo Lefebvre started on the left wing instead of Adil Al-Shish. Now that's out of position for Enzo, so a big vote of confidence from Régis Lebris. He needs minutes as fast as possible if he's to get up to speed for the second half of the season, so I get it.
A kit that will bring a warm pang of nostalgia.
Right from the whistle, Burnley raced out of the blocks. They were intent on attacking and getting in behind us. They rotated the single pivot. The pivot is the player who receives the ball from defenders when they're in possession and turns to initiate attacking play. Usually, this pivot is a midfielder and usually the team's best passer. Most teams use one pivot these days. Some more defensive-minded teams or those who like to play through the middle use 2. Burnley are unusual though. They tend to drop a midfielder into the defensive line and then bring back a second midfielder to play the pivot role. The goalkeeper plays no part in this initial build-up, unlike Patterson, who is in our line of 3 usually. This means Burnley have fewer midfielders in the centre of the park. That's because they focus their play on the wings. The fullbacks push up behind the wingers, and that is where they intend to pass to. This voluntary weakness in midfield may be why their attacking stats overall are so poor.
Certainly expect them to have a lot more of it.
And with the ball, Burnley decided to target deep diagonal crosses behind our fullbacks.
Sunderland can get some joy in the counter remains to be seen. No.
And here is another example, this time the ball put right behind Sirkin, and it causes us some trouble.
Centre back. This is Anthony. Beautifully found. And able to break through the challenge of Sirkin, surprisingly, as much to himself as anybody else.
Well, what a ball to Jayden Anthony that was.
And moments later, this ball beats Dennis again.
Looking for Anthony again. And he might get away from Sirkin once more, who, it's fair to say, has had a pretty nervy start.
Burnley pressed well out of possession and won lots of second ball to recycle it and maintain the pressure. And it wasn't long before the first clear-cut chance fell to Connor Roberts, 6 yards out.
So kindly to Roberts. And it's one to be filed under escape for Sunderland.
Well, the crosses are raining in.
It was all Burnley in the first 10 minutes, with them having near 80% of the possession.
With Anthony and Brownhill who set it in motion.
With Pato required to make an excellent save from Anthony.
Anthony! And it's a fine save by Patterson. An attack of real menace.
And here Trey Hume is struggling on the other side for the same reason.
Breaking ball again from Egan Riley. To get Humphreys involved. Humphreys is penalised.
It wasn't until Jobe picked up a loose ball and found Ring on the 15th minute that we won a free kick and got into their third with some respite.
Playing in a role that's not totally out of his wheelhouse from the left. He played as a kind of left-sided inside forward for Régis Lebris at Lorient.
But from here, Sunderland got their foot on the ball and eased themselves into the game. Enzo Lefebvre took the free kick, and this ball was quality.
9 might be the one to make first contact. Will it drop for Bellingham?
It is nice to have that in the team now, despite the fact that nothing came of it. Sunderland, though, were now starting to regain balls and build attacks with it.
Brownhill busy. So too Josh Laurent. Some really steady influence in that midfield.
Roberts set Isidore free.
Isidore getting in behind, and he timed his run well.
But the shot was too high. And Sunderland began to play through Burnley's press, anticipating the pace. Here, Meffam and Neil combined well to get the ball out to Lefay.
Roberts, good football here from Sunderland. Neil, excellent work. Lefay involved. There's his right foot. Sirkin.
And in the final third, Sunderland applied their own press when out of possession. And the action areas since the 20-minute mark show that it was Sunderland now driving play. Isidore nearly caught Trafford out. Why is it every team still underestimates his pace? I'm happy with it, though. And after two scares, instead of playing the ball out, Trafford was now choosing to punt it. And Sunderland continued to look like the most likely team to score as the second half closed out.
Away by Egan Riley, but only to Bellingham.
Sirkin's cross here finds Roberts, but he doesn't trust his right foot enough to volley it. Trafford punted again.
No chances taken that time by Trafford, noticeably.
Sunderland recovered again.
Forearmed. This is Lefay. Sirkin again providing the overlap.
And Lefay drived a low hard cross that is almost met by Isidore. And the half ended goalless, but with enough from both sides to warrant hope for both of them.
2 points per game. Adjusted for 3 for a win. Hannibal currently.
The second half began much like the first, with an early exchange of blows. Burnley finding success with long diagonals and a quality cross that fell kindly for Zian Fleming.
Humphreys in another. Will it be teed up here for Zian Fleming? Now that was a chance.
Opportunity gone.
At the other end, Enzo Lefay played a beautifully weighted ball into the path of Wilson Isidore, who beat Trafford but struck the post.
Wilson Isidore might be in for a Sunderland chance here. I thought I was about to acclaim a quite brilliant goal, but as it is...
Despite this opening, the second half was a very different story to the first. Regis had made a slight tactical change that took all of Burnley's attacking impetus away. He had instructed the fullbacks to stand off the wingers some distance in depth and step inside instead of marking them tightly like the first half. And this small change helped turn the game entirely. Burnley could now not get the ball in behind Sunderland, and their main attack weapon from the first half proved useless. From this new position, Sirkin began to dominate Anthony, stealing the ball and surging up into the Burnley box.
Stolen by Sirkin from Anthony. Bellingham outside him. Sirkin will carry the fight himself.
This resulted in a cracking shot from Lefay that is going in before it's deflected.
And it hit the post behind the goal via a deflection.
Burnley continued to try to seek out Anthony, but Sirkin could now sit off him and dominate the play in front of him when opportunities presented. Jobe here showing great strength to secure the loose ball. Jobe, by the way, was absolutely immense today. He cleaned up ball relentlessly.
Anthony. Neil, it will potentially break kindly for Brownhill, but Bellingham is strong.
Played smart passes and bossed the midfield with his power and strength. It's wise to remember that he's just 19 But as each week goes by, he seems to get better and better and more in command of that midfield.
Another good one. Roberts.
Here he is taking out two players with a La Pausa. What a player he is. Maybe he watched my Lefay video, and you can too. Hit the button top right now. I guarantee it's worth your time. Sunderland, though, just looked well in control now. They were finding space, picking off passes.
Rig. Roberts. Rig again. Fay found well. Needs help and Sirkin will provide it.
And Burnley sensed the change in momentum too. The diagonals had stopped by the hour mark, and they looked devoid of alternative ideas. Josh Laurent here begging for someone to present for him, the midfield pivot having no options now. But they did still have the odd chance. Here a rare cross is headed back into the path of Fleming, but Luke O'Nien prevents the shot.
Oh, and a chance potentially for Fleming, who goes down. Referee not interested at all. This is controversial.
Looking back at it, that might be a penalty. Luke throws his leg in front of Fleming as he's attempting to strike the ball, and he's brought down. I think we're lucky here.
He celebrates it like a goal.
Sunderland looked to keep pushing the play, but it seemed obvious that some of the players were tired now. Labrie brought on Mayenda for Rig, who had disappeared from the game in the last 10. And only 10 minutes later, Chris Meffam went down injured, Dan Ballard coming on to replace him. Then, with just 6 minutes of normal time to go, Mayenda hustled and harried his way free to put Isidore through on goal. But he was clipped by Egan Riley. It's just outside the box. The referee, though, awarded the spot kick. Had he not awarded the penalty, it likely would have been a free kick on the edge of the box and a probable red card for Egan Riley. Trafford, then, takes as long as he feels he can get away with to make Isidore wait. Takes off his gloves to tie his shoelace, and in doing so, checks his penalty notes on his water bottle. And then he takes even longer putting on his gloves. Top levels of shithousery from James Trafford, but he's doing all he can to disrupt things here, just as he should. Isidore, meanwhile, has a long time to wait. Time to second-guess himself. Time to get those legs cold, before Trafford finally presents himself on the goal line.
Should have walked away, Wilson. Isidore has had the ball on the spot.
Team responsibility here. Oh, and Trafford to deny him. And the long wait has paid off for the goalkeeper at least.
Isidore's strike is poor. A good 2 foot inside the post, and Trafford saves it. And with all the time Trafford chewed up, 6 minutes were added on at the end.
With a lot of pace.
But only one team seemed to want to win it here.
A little more in the way of really good situations, but here's Roberts and Neil, and on for Lefay. Come out to 09. Hume.
Sunderland came again as Roberts and Hume combined to put a ball in which dropped to Mayenda 5 yards out unmarked. But he misses it.
And Mayenda does not take the chance. Oh, well.
Sooner or later, all these missed chances are going to start going our way, aren't they?
I mean, brilliant play again. Link up between Roberts and Hume. It falls for Mayenda.
In the air, Neil hoping to get there first.
But things were not nearly done yet. Sirkin raced into the box with only 90 seconds of time remaining.
And the challenge and a header. Well, the Burnley players appealing.
And Son is sold into a slide challenge while Sirkin Cruyff turns him. And Son cannot stop his momentum, bringing down Sirkin whilst getting none of the ball. And for the second time in minutes, Sunderland are awarded a penalty. And Wilson steps up again, determined to redeem himself. Now, before we go any further, I'm pretty sure that all of us, before the game, if we had to nominate a penalty taker, would have chosen Wilson. And what happened next just looked like a glitch in the Matrix. As Trafford wasted as much time as he could, Isidore pondered as before and sent the ball to the same place with the same outcome.
To land, surely. A giant 3 points for Sunderland. Oh, Trafford has done it again!
James Trafford doing his best Brad Guzon impression. Wilson was distraught. The game ended, Burnley celebrated a point, and the players went to console Isidore. What to make of all this then? I'm sure that all of us would have chosen Wilson to be our penalty taker before kick-off, but you simply can't have 2 penalties and not score. Wilson knows this too, and that's probably why he made that public apology on social media. Not that I feel he has to. There will be days when he drags us over the line and days when he makes us compete. Sometimes it goes the other way too. And at the end of this game, you have to say that we looked the much better side after navigating that first 20 minutes. In the second half, we pretty much controlled the game. We had more corners than Burnley, more shots than Burnley, more shots in the box than Burnley. We had more big chances at Burnley. We hit the woodwork and we played more through balls. Burnley created almost nothing in the second half. But for a bit of luck this season, we could have had 12 points out of Burnley and Sheffield United. And as I look back now, the dust has settled on this game. Most of the frustration of the moment comes from a deep desire we all had to beat Burnley, knowing that we could, and having 2 gilt-edged chances to do so. But I also see that we're a better team than them, and despite not winning last night, I have more hope of an automatic spot than I did before the game started. We've got players to get fit, more of them coming back. We are only going to get stronger. Keep the faith, and I'll see you next time.